I was born with a physical disability, obviously. I was born permanently attractive, and I was born with 2 fingers on my left hand and a shorter left arm, and I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 19, which is a chronic illness, autoimmune disease that I'll never get rid of. And getting diagnosed with diabetes and having a disability, I found my passion. I found what I want to do out of life. And it took going through the worst shit ever.
How's it going, guys? Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Unlimited Power. Today I have the pleasure of introducing to you guys Chris Ruden. Ruden, right? That's how you say it?
Yes.
Ruden. I don't like messing people's names.
It's all good.
I don't like messing people's bios. And I certainly don't like messing people's lives.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. That's not good. We try to make people's lives better. That's why I'm bringing Chris here, to make your life better. And one thing I always say, I don't introduce people. I let you introduce yourself.
Probably safe.
Very safe. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What did you do earlier today?
Absolutely. So my name is Chris Ruden, and I'm probably the strongest 7-finger diabetic, disabled powerlifter, motivational speaker, and online nutrition coach that you know. I can guarantee it because you probably don't know another one. So earlier today, I already went to the gym, I already worked on clients' profiles, I already worked on a few programs I'm doing. I like to get started quick. I was born with a physical disability, obviously. I was born permanently attractive, and I was born with 2 fingers on my left hand and a shorter left arm, and I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 19, which is a chronic illness, autoimmune disease that I'll never get rid of. You know, so I'm really lucky in collecting all these health issues that are really fun. But in getting diagnosed with diabetes and having a disability, I found my passion. I found what I want to do out of life. And it took going through the worst shit ever to get that, you know. I didn't grow up to a rich family. I didn't grow up in a rich neighborhood. You know, I grew up being the disabled kid. I grew up being the kid who people made fun of because I was the way I was born, the way I looked, the way I couldn't do anything about it. I could do nothing about it, and I was made fun of for the way I was. You know, by chance, do you know any of the synonyms for disabled? Just throw out some. Broken, weak, helpless, useless. That's what I was labeled as a kid, you know?
Wow. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Pompano, a little backwoods of Pompano. So, born and raised South Florida, and it took me a while, but I learned quickly that, you know, you can only do the best with what you got where you are.
Exactly. What school did you go to in Pompano?
I went to Pompano Beach High School. I went to Deerfield Middle for like 1 semester, and then my parents put me in Christian school because I had anger problems. So, yeah, man.
Anger problems, or frustration from everybody else.
Yeah, I don't like to blame it. You know, I could have dealt with it. At that age, I wasn't really, I wasn't mature enough to understand how to deflect what people say.
You need a certain mental resilience.
Yeah, and it took me a while to build, and that usually does. You know, that's normal.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who are older than you who doesn't have that mental resilience.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's. Most people don't go through enough pain in life to get mental resilience, to get the drive to be more than you are. You know, people either settle for less or drive for more, and I'm the drive for more kind of guy.
Right. And I think that's why certain people would look at you in a certain way if you went through something like, like you know, so you ever realize your story inspires some people, but for some people they look at it like,
I've faced that my whole life, dude. You think about, you see me now, you don't see what I went through. You don't see I was 130 pounds, I was bullied, you know, I was on the verge of suicide and fell to drugs, all this. You don't see that. You see a guy who built some muscle, or at least wears really tiny shirts, you know, and you see a guy and you're like, oh damn, you know, he has 36,000 followers on Instagram. It's because of his arm. He's cheating. If I had a disability and I worked out, I would be just like him.
Right.
So it's almost like a bell curve, you know. You think about math class, statistics that no one paid attention to, that little bell thing.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, I was made fun of for the way I was born. People thought it was motivational, and now that I'm to a professional level, people discredit me because of my disability. So it's so funny how that works, you know? People love to see you work hard, but they never want to see you work harder than them.
Right.
Kills them.
It does. Wow, that's very powerful.
It's true. It's absolutely true. You know, like people look at me now. I actually had someone yesterday, you know, say to me that, "Oh, why don't you try and be more professional?" I lost it. Because I mean, I do say curse words sometimes. You know, I speak to kids, I do all this stuff. But they're like, "Oh, you wear tank tops, you never really dress up in a suit." For me, my definition of professional, my definition of success is being a tank top in a room full of suits and they're listening to me.
I'm professional, guys.
That's success. I mean, that's success to me. That's success to me.
My legs are showing. I'm wearing shorts and a shirt.
There you go. See, we're in our age right now, we're redefining professionalism and success because we can be successful in a setting like this. You know, success isn't predetermined in the way it looks. There's no specific look to it. Because if I give you value, if I help a kid who is struggling and wants to take his life, and I taught him how to think more of himself, I don't care if I'm wearing a tank top, a Speedo, or if I'm butt naked, you know? If I help him, I helped him.
Exactly.
You know? Like, that, to me, that's professionalism, that's success. Success isn't defined by a corporate ladder always. It can be, and if you choose that to be, but it doesn't have to be.
Most of the crooks wear suits.
There you go.
You know, because when you have something to hide, you need something to put that under. And a suit is the best way to put it under. Not saying suits are bad. Dress for success.
Dress for success, whatever that is, that's a relative term. Success is relative. If you work at Burger King and you flip those patties like you love it, every time you flip that patty you feel successful, you are successful. No one can take that away from you.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
that's fine. So the way I define my success is different, and that's okay. You know?
And that's true because I used to wear a lot of suits. I wore ties every day to school. In fact, I had a tie competition with my with my maths teacher. So when I in high school, every kid will be dressed regularly, but I wore a tie. Sometimes I wore like a cardigan, even though it was uniform school. I was very fancy.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to North Miami Senior High School.
You were in Florida wearing a suit?
Yeah, I would wear suits.
Sweating.
Yeah, sweating.
Oh.
Bullets. And I don't know, that was my identity then.
But that's cool.
When I became a personal trainer, my identity shifted. I was like, I'm a fitness guy, so I'm gonna wear my apparel. And that was a short shirt and running shoes. And so I'm fitting my lifestyle to what I'm doing. And if I need to go to a professional event, however way I wanna act, I wanna act. But I wanna be myself in all circumstances of my life.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what it's all about, you know?
Absolutely.
It's not about...
People are constantly trying to live up to this preconceived notion of what they think they should be.
Right.
When you finally gather the courage to let go of what people think you should be and become what you are, then you'll be successful. Until then, you're only going to be someone else's protege.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I was saying. I said this one thing. I don't want to recreate the story of the greats.
Boring.
It's really, you're not great if you create the story of the greats. You're just another person trying to be like someone who's already made it, right? So I say, let me create my own story, my own pathway, my own vision, right? I want to be Edward Gills, you know. I want to have my own story, whatever that entails. It has to be 100% authentic, 100% me, and I think that's what really matters. And we've been living by this preconceived idea that we have to be this way, we have to go to this school, we have to, like, these credentials make you good, or if you look a certain way, you're this, but that's not what it matters, you know?
The second I hear the words, you have to be, I already don't want to be. Like, if you tell me I have to do something, just the person I am, I'm going to do the opposite. Like, don't touch this cup. I'm going to touch it. Because that's just who I am. It's kind of douchebaggy because I'm like, I always challenge like the norm, because the norm would have got me somewhere where I didn't want to be in life. So I'm a little aggressive.
Chris, don't give me $1 million.
Reverse psychology doesn't really work on me. And if I could, I would. Man, there's a thin line between like not listening to anyone and being able to find your own way.
Right.
I actually just started a podcast, and I did a funny talk on life, and someone will say, you gotta follow your passion. Find your passion and the money will come. That is not true.
Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video.